And we are at the Blood Swamps. A pretty cool level, and I decided to skip the what is it, footage where you're on like the ship, because there's really nothing to talk about. So for this part, always get rid of that Mancubus. Make sure you use a shield for protection. And this Mancubus right here, you could pretty much get rid of him however you want. I decided to show love to the mobile turret. Bunch of fodder here. Not really much, you know, to say. You could kill them with whatever weapons you want. So right here, I kind of got a little too greedy here. I should have actually gotten rid of the Revenant first. You really want to get rid of the Revenant before you get rid of like the giant tentacle. And you can actually get like real aggressive on that giant tentacle by just super shotgunning and ballista. Like, it's actually possible to kill them before it hurts you. So this part, I like to rock the micro missiles here. Some good old primary charge micro missiles for the part. It actually works pretty nice. Alright, this Pinky, you know, just blood punch it. Alright, so this Marauder here, I remember I had to kind of like take it slow a little bit. But it's just one Marauder, you know. I feel like if you're watching this video, you should be able to like handle one Marauder. I just like to use the good old super shotgun ballista combo because I enjoy using it so much. But if you want to get real fancy with it, go ahead. So this level to me, like, I think it's mostly pretty easy. There are some stuff that can be a bit scary, like the Buffed Marauder room. I do feel like that part, it does have like a small chance of the Buffed Marauder not really behaving. And I do have like a special, well, somewhat special strategy to kind of like eliminate the chances of that. Not completely, but it does kind of give you a much higher success rate, because in the Buffed Marauder room, I used to use the super shotgun and ballista technique in that area, and sometimes when the Buffed Marauder starts to glitch out, that technique doesn't really quite work as well. So you'll see what I do once we get there. And by the ways, all of this part that you are watching, it should be pretty much like the same on the current patch. But there's definitely some differences with this Blood Swamp versus like the current patch, and I'll eventually mention them. So there's one Lonely Baron. You can kill him however you want. Like, that's my favorite way to kill like a Baron there, just spamming the super shotgun ballista, and sometimes I'll finish it with like the chain gun. That's pretty much like my combo that I like to use in this game. So there's always going to be a Mancubus that spawns up here just to jump scare you. I highly recommend using the shield turret, the shield chain gun here, just to eliminate the chances of you taking damage. You know, Mancubus is so scary. Like they're definitely one of the most threatening enemies in this game, so always try to like minimize the damage from them. They could easily destroy your health and armor super easily.
Just beyond this altar. That is the origin of the Father's realm.
So this part, nothing too difficult. It's just a bunch of fodder, except when the Whiplash comes out. Definitely get rid of the Whiplash with, like, you know, the lock-on rockets. Yeah, the old turret. These things were so annoying. And one thing that I like to do here is I kind of want to make sure like I chainsaw before the buffed. Yeah, you see, I always try to like check my ammo, and definitely try to like, you know, have healthy ammo when you get into like the Buffed Marauder room. You definitely want to have good ammo. Alright, this is what I generally do when I'm making my way to the entrance. I pretty much just skip all of this. Make sure you use the shield for protection. And there we go. I'm going to use the super shotgun lock-on rocket grenade falter combo right here. It actually worked pretty well here, but he did spazzed out a little bit right there. And he was starting to get a little like more aggressive than I thought. Unfortunately, a zombie got an easy attack on me. I knew he was really weak here, so this was a bit scary. I was down to like 50-ish health. I managed to find some zombies there that really helped me out. Since I knew he was low on health, I decided to sticky bomb him. And look what you know. Dazed and confused saved me right there. And I hope I get style points for that glory kill on that Marauder. Like, that is so rare. Especially like when you're playing on this difficulty. Like, you always get that, like when I glory kill a Marauder, I always get that one animation where you just like stab his heart or his chest or whatever. But yeah, it's very rare for me to get like a behind glory kill type of animation. Alright, so this is your very first spirit. And by the way, I highly recommend you to go for like the Buffed Marauder first. Mainly because he is like a bit luck based, and you really want to try to like get rid of him ASAP just to know like if you could actually survive in that room or not. And the right side of the trial is much easier than the left side in my opinion. And it's way more consistent on the right side. Like, I feel like if you really know what you're doing on the right side, you won't really die as much. While, you know, in the Buffed Marauder room, there is still like a small chance where things can go wrong, but as long as you're doing like what I just did there with like the lock-on rocket technique, you should be able to like survive him like in a very high success rate, and you should have like good consistency. I found myself using the lock-on rocket falter grenade technique to be more successful than the super shotgun ballista technique. Alright, so not really a hard part here. Like, pretty much most of these fights for like, you know, for like the left side of like the trial are pretty simple. Same thing with like the right side too. Cause like I feel like the next part that I really want to talk about is like the fog room. That's definitely an area I gotta really start commentating and talk about strategies, because I do got like a really great strategy that was like amazing on like the old patch for the blood swamps, and it could still be useful for the new patch, but since they kind of removed the shield guys, I feel like the strategy might not be as effective, but it's still effective if you want to use it. So the main reason why I use this strategy is because I'll eventually tell you what I do here before I explain like my reasonings. So there used to be tentacles here. I used to like get rid of them, and then I'll actually move a little forward, shoot a BFG, and it will actually spawn kill that arachnotron with the with the spirit. Then you could just get rid of the spirit and go all the way back to like your entrance and just kill the specters and like the shield guys, and eventually kill the Doom Hunter once you get rid of all the specters. And the main reason why I use this BFG strategy is because if you try to fight the possessed arachnotron like the normal way without like using a BFG, you just get really inconsistent results. Like, sometimes you'll have healthy armor and health, and sometimes not so much. And that's mainly because of like the random AI behavior and like the random spawn points of like the shield guys in the old version, where they could totally just like sneak up on you and just take massive amount of damage on you. But on the current version, there is no more shield guys, so you can actually try to like fight this battle without needing to use that BFG strat. But the BFG strategy is like definitely still effective. Like, it's really gonna make this fight way faster if you just want to you know, just complete this room and move on to the next area. And I do think like the next area, well, after like this area, like the area with the 2 whiplashes and the cyber demon, that area is a little bit scary, but I do got a good strategy to really solidify your safety. So just get rid of all these fodder, chainsaw if you need ammo. I personally like to use my Arbalist and my chain shield for this fight. You can also use Destroyer Blade. I've seen Zero Master using Destroyer Blade on this part, and that also works really well here. But I prefer to do it like this. You see? I feel like the way I do it is also still really effective. And you don't have to like worry about what is it? Like the problem with Destroyer Blade is kind of like a high risk, high reward type of weapon. So when you're loading up that Destroyer Blade, you are like, you know, vulnerable to like all the damages that the Spectre Whiplash could do to you. There used to be a tentacle here. There's no more tentacles, so make sure you chainsaw before you get up top here. So this area, there's actually supposed to be, this Hell Knight is actually a possessed Hell Knight, but if you actually kill it ASAP, it actually won't be a possessed Hell Knight, and it becomes a regular Hell Knight. Alright, so we're at the little platforming area here. It's really not that difficult, you know. It's one of these areas where if you play, like if you complete it once, you should be able to complete it like every time here. It's really simple. Alright, finally we're done with this, and there is BFG ammo here, so take advantage of it. Since I used the BFG on the fog room, I definitely needed that. Right here you could farm up for armor, get your blood punch back, chainsaw for ammo, whatever you want to do with it, really. There's going to be a pinky there. I remember I did like a ballista jump here. Oh yeah, just to be fancy. And by the way, sometimes like these zombies, they spawn when you do the ballista jump, and then sometimes they don't. I'm not really quite sure, but that's something that you should know. So this is one of the 2 trial fights that you're gonna have to do. I personally think this one is the hardest one. You have to fight a possessed Baron, and you know, possessed Barons are kind of scary for how fast they are. But I got some cool strategies for this fight, and it involves with an Unmaker. Yes, you heard that right. So when you go up to this buff totem, always use the chain shield. Sometimes there will be like a Revenant you know, getting ready to like slap you there, and Revenant buff totem, the slap does quite a bit of damage, so make sure you use a chain shield if you get some bad RNG. And there's actually kind of like a trigger that you can use to your advantage to know how the second buff totem works. So the first heavy demon wave, you gotta kill all the Revenants and all the Prowler, and the first heavy demon wave, you gotta kill all the Revenants and Prowler, and the second heavy wave, there's actually respawning carcasses, so you don't have to kill them. But if you kill all the Hell Knights, which there are supposed to be 2 of them, it will spawn in the second buff totem, like that. So now it's gonna be 2 Cyber Demons. If you kill 1 Cyber Demon, you will spawn in the 2 Barons. And if I remember properly, once you kill that buff totem, the respawning carcasses it's no longer a thing, so you could actually now kill like the carcasses, which is good because they could totally be annoying with all the shield spamming. Oh my god, that shield guy. Yeah. I actually had a pretty scary moment with the shield guy in this encounter. You'll see what I mean. I think my best advice for this fight is try to like play it kind of like play it smart, you know, don't get too aggressive. I've always feel like this arena kind of like it could punish you if you play too aggressively, because like it's a little bit cramped, you know, especially once these two barons come out to play. So right there you saw me change my positioning because I knew there was a shield guy behind me. I didn't want, like, you know, the shield guy to do that insane amount of damage to me, just like what he did on the first map. Okay, so here's the scary part here. I thought I was in a good positioning to use the primary charge micro missile on this Baron, but as you can see, that shield guy snuck up on me and I was a little bit scared there. Like I said in my UAC Atlantica video, the shield guys are the most threatening fodder. Like, it's absolutely terrible when they just sneak up on you. And sometimes it's kind of hard to tell, you know, because like you're in the midst of chaos and you also need to prioritize the heavy demons. I think my best advice is try to like if you're playing with the headset, definitely try to like use that to your advantage. Try to hear what's going on around you. And try to kill them, like, you know, as much as you can, so you don't have to like worry about them. So obviously, right after I got snuck up by that shield guy, I decided to play it real slow and trying to get my stack back. And now I'm ready to get rid of this last cyber demon. So you want to kill the last heavy demon in this wave, and basically try to stay in this little spawn point right there, because that's where the possessed Baron spawns, and then you could like freeze bomb him and then start using the Unmaker. You should be able to kill that possessed Baron with the freeze bomb with less than like 30 BFG cells. So you should be so you could take advantage of the of that additional BFG cell and still have like 2 BFG shots left. So remember that, you know, right before you kill like the last heavy demon with the 2 barons and 2 cyber demon, always try to kill that last heavy demon in this spot right there, so you could get an easy spawn kill on the possessed baron. Alright, here's another scary moment with the shield guy here. So right here I'm like, oh, it's just one shield guy, that's okay. Oh wait, what? Another one? I immediately ran away. Look at that, he just destroyed all my armor. Like, I had good armor right there, and now it's completely gone. I sometimes feel like maybe they should make like the shield guy kind of similar to what they did with Ancient Gods Part 2 with like the the riot soldier guys, where they're kind of like a fodder enemy, but they don't like completely respawn, you know. But you still have to kill them to kind of trigger like the completion of the arena's fights. I think that might be more balanced, but I don't know, because it is kind of cheap when like when the shield guys just sneak up on you out of nowhere. So I'm just trying to like stock up on ammo, check for anything that I'm missing, and I feel like I got everything, and it's time for the the right trial. So this one, I feel like this area is way easier, and there's definitely been a big nerf in the current version. You no longer have to fight like the possessed Baron like I did in this video. And I actually had a special strategy for that possessed Baron. But since you're not fighting like a possessed Baron, you don't have to use this strategy that I'm doing. So kind of like the left trial. There's going to be like a lot of fodder, and there's like one whiplash that you have to like prioritize. And there's actually, you know, the Cackle Demon just like on the left side too. It's basically like a build-up fight. Alright, so for like the dog fight here, I personally think this fight is not too bad, but there are like two sections that can be pretty scary for Ultra Nightmare, and they are the Dread Knight, the two, what is those, like two Dread Knight sections, and what was it? The shield guys, where they throw in all like those shield guys. Those are pretty scary, and it could be like potential run enders. So this is the first section of this is kind of like a warm up. You really have a lot of ways to play this. Oh my god, I can't believe I missed my freeze bomb. Yeah, be careful of that like pillar right there. It could sometimes just troll you. And every time you finish these like combat encounters, always chainsaw before you go to the next one. You really want to have a lot of ammo. So this one isn't too bad, but if you know where those the whiplash is and where they spawn, which they spawn every time, this fight could be very chill. There's always going to be like these horde of imps that you need to get rid of. Yeah, right after like these horde of imps, this is where you fight the whiplash. There it is. And then there's going to be like two Hell Knights. And now chainsaw. A good technique you could do is like the shield if, you know, you want to try to like protect yourself from all the fog damage. Alright, so this one's the scary one. This is the one with the two Dread Knights. Their spawns are a bit random here, by the way. It's like sometimes they'll spawn like this, or sometimes they'll kind of like spawn two of them in front of you, and they're kind of like closed up together. I like to abuse the lock-on rockets, and then when the Dread Knight, Mancubus, and Cackle Demon wave starts coming, that's where I really like to use like the freeze bomb. And I prefer to use like the regular grenade on like the two Dread Knight sections, just to like stun lock them, because I think freeze bomb is more valuable than like the second heavy demon wave. Alright, so this is another scary one with all these shield guys. I love using Heat Blast and the grenade launcher here. I think the grenade launcher is really good for this part. And if there isn't too many shield guys, you could try to like meat hook just to get additional 30 armor back. And then there's going to be a Spectre. This should be simple. One Spectre and then like a Baron will come out. You could just bully the Baron with the freeze bomb. And definitely take advantage of the chainsaw ammo. Alright, so for this part, I like to do like the grenade launcher ballista combo for this turret section. This should be way easier to do on like the current patch here. I kind of messed up a little bit. See, I actually thought I got it, but then I realized I didn't. But it's really easy to do. Like, you can just try to practice it. Just try to get that angle, and it's very, very practical. It's not like using some like obscurely hard speedrun strategy or anything like that. It's very simple to do, I promise. And since my armor wasn't really the best here, I decided to take advantage of the Sentinel armor here. You could do that if you want to, or just skip it if you don't feel like you need it. I've always thought this section should have been like a normal encounter. Like, look at all this like awesome arenas. It would be pretty cool if they allow you to like take advantage of all this geometry rather than put you in like a circular arena. But whatever. I guess the fights are still pretty fun. Alright, so these spikes right there, yeah, those spikes, next to the switch right there, don't fall on them. They act its software actually triggered these spikes to do absurd amount of damage, and you will instantly die if you fall on them. So when you're doing this platforming part, be extremely careful. Be very careful. I don't really know why they did that. I heard it's probably because they didn't want speedrunners to like skip this section, so I guess maybe that's why they did that. Alright, so here's the possessed Baron, or like the possessed Hell Knight in the current version, or the possessed Imp. Like, I've gotten different possessed enemies in this section when I was when I was replaying this level on the current patch. I don't know, I think it's probably glitched. I think it's supposed to be a possessed Hell Knight. So obviously get rid of the turret. Oh my god, I can't believe I missed that. Since in the current version this will be just like a Baron, you could pretty much just use the lock-on rockets and just annihilate them. Before, I mean, it's a Hell Knight in the current version, but in the old version I love using the micro missiles here. See, this is like my special strategy here: micro missiles with lock-on rockets. I realized I was in the corner, so I decided to meat hook away. And now I'm using the lock-on rockets. Very simple, and it's just super effective too. I was a little scared right there because I was like, oh my god, dude. I didn't realize there was like an enemy blocking my way. And I rocketed myself right there. That's always great. Easy. Like, this fight to me has always been pretty easy. Not really that tough, even with the possessed Baron. And there is a secret right here, valuable secret, so you don't have to farm for health and armor. You could just grab the mega health and just chainsaw the zombies for ammo. Okay, so here's the final trial fight. This one to me is way easier than the other one. I think it's probably because of like the arena and just like the demon composition. And the arena in this one is like way more open, so I feel like you won't have to worry about like, you know, sneaky shield guys kind of like getting stuck in the area and all that stuff. And this is pretty much what I like to do. I like to BFG like the first heavy demon wave to get rid of all like the Mankabai and just soften up the Barons. And then I'm gonna try to like abuse the lock-on rockets on like the Revenants here. And I have another special strategy for this section here. I like to chainsaw here. And that's mainly to like save ammo. When you kill like the last Revenant, the possessed Arachnotron always spawns here. And you could basically just cheese it like that. Easy. And before we go to the Archvile wave, you definitely want to make sure you chainsaw here. There's a moment where I almost forgot to chainsaw. I'll try to like see where that moment was. Like, this fight is so simple if you just use this strategy. So right here, I realized that was like the last Arachnotron, and I'm like, wait, I need a chainsaw for ammo. Yeah, it's basically me trying to like keep my rocket ammo as high as I can so I could get rid of those two Archviles in the next wave. And now I get rid of the Arachnotron. These two Archviles always spawn in these locations. Just get rid of it with the lock-on rocket. And now he's gonna, the second one spawns in the next to the teleporter. And lock-on rockets is pretty much the way to go to get rid of these Archviles. I mean, like, there's actually some rockets next to the teleporter there, so basically the level designer is telling you to use the lock-on rockets. Easy fight, easy. I barely took any like damage here. And it wasn't like, you know, I had to like constantly run around the arena and try to like look for fodder. And it's just because of like this arena, man. Like, this open arena is just so good for like my playstyle. And I think it's better for like most players too when it comes to like their survivability, because they can like run around the arena a lot more. Alright, so the Malagog, wait, is it Malagog? Yeah, the Malagog fight here. I used to have very mixed results, and before I start the fight, I always try to explore for any ammo or health and armor. I used to have mixed results when I do this little boss fight, if you would say. But eventually, I've gotten so much better at doing this fight, and like nowadays, I pretty much will have really healthy health and armor here. I think I did not take any damage in this video here. So for the first section, you definitely want to try to use the precision bolt and ballistic combo, and try to ignore like the Hell Knight. Like Hell Knight is the only scary enemy in like the first phase. So for the second phase, the Pinky is by far the threatening phase, and you'll see like that I'm trying to like use grenades to kind of like falter them and just run away from like the heavy demons. And make sure you chainsaw for like the last phase here. And Pinky is by far the most threatening enemy for the second and third phase. What I like to do for the third phase is I really like to abuse the meat hook, and you'll see what I mean here. You see, this is to kind of like protect me from like all the heavy demons, especially the Pinkies. If there is a really aggressive Pinky coming at you, I really recommend you to meat hook above him, because if you actually meat hook above the Pinky, his AI will reset. And that's pretty much how you do this boss fight. Very simple, very easy, and I will see you guys at the hall.